Hello, guys. Welcome. Now, we have decided to bring back PPC Roundtable and we are restarting it. And again, we are trying to discuss by showing as much data as possible, bringing to you again. So, today, again, Sandeep ji is joining with me. And our topic today is mainly focused on Amazon Marketing Cloud. Hello, Sandeep ji. कैसे हैं आप?
Yeah, hi Samik. It's good to be back again doing the PPC roundtable. So I'm excited to discuss the topic that we had in hand.
Yeah. So it's an exciting topic, especially because last 1 year, Amazon have released so many new features, especially concentrated on automation and then again solving their attribution tracking problem by bringing Amazon Marketing Cloud and especially making Amazon Marketing Cloud accessible to every seller. So before we jump right into the data points, what we can discuss here is we can discuss first what were there or what options were previously there before Amazon Marketing Cloud existed to all sellers.
Yeah, so earlier, about I would say a year ago, especially when the AMC was not launched. So initially, Amazon launched Amazon Marketing Cloud, the AMC for DSP. It's been there for some time for DSP. However, they have launched it for sponsored ads as well, where now we can stitch together all the different ad types that we have and understand more than what we used to understand earlier. Now, earlier, when we did not have Amazon Marketing Cloud, what we had was a very limited interaction with the audiences in Amazon ads. Amazon ads were more of a consideration to loyalty stage, very limited of awareness, more of consideration, then directly conversion, and then the loyalty. And that is where majority of the ad spends used to happen in this sponsored product for most of the sellers selling on Amazon. However, there were a lot of, ad solutions, ad types, I would rather say, which were not that much tagged. So sponsored brand, hardly sellers used to touch. Sponsored display, the brands used to not much touch upon sponsored display, very limited. For example, in sponsored display alone, we had audiences, and in that we had in market or lifestyle audiences, which was not for a conversion conversion stage. And as a result, the advertisers, the brand used to not get ROAS out of such audiences, and they used to stay away from it. Other than that, we had in sponsored display, views remarketing or purchase remarketing. So these two type of remarketing, there typically the audiences were already in the funnel of the brand, and we could see the ROAS much better than in market or lifestyle audiences. And most of the sellers, if they used to touch upon sponsored display, it was either views remarketing or purchase remarketing. So that is what we used to do where from an audience perspective. However, now Amazon is moving towards full funnel advertising. And as a result, it's even more important that we understand the journey of that shopper, of that audience that we have in our funnel. And for that, we need to go from awareness till loyalty and use all the available solutions. Then Amazon Marketing Cloud is going to help us understand that better.
Yeah, no, you have talked about audiences, right? And I think audiences, some of that was available to sellers in sponsored display. And but the insights part where the main problem lies, what you mentioned as well, that the ROAS for sponsor brands and display were not sufficient enough for brands to trust more and invest more budget into that, right? Thing might be, or one reason might be because they were not able to track or they were not able to measure the blended ROAS that is happening, because it might happen that sponsor brand might be the first touch point or first ad that the customer have seen, and the second ad might be a sponsored product ad, sponsored display ad. But since they cannot connect the dots at what is the exact customer journey happening, which ad are they clicking or seeing the first time, second time, third time, because every ad is educating them about the product, right? But they cannot connect all the ad types. But I think now with insights, which previously sellers didn't have access anyhow, now sellers started to access and understand that, right? So AMC Insights. So what we can do here is we can go jump on the screen for sellers, because we have onboarded a couple of brands last year, and those brands are spending huge in sponsored ads and DSP as well, like 30-40 lakhs a month. But still, what we have noticed is they were not able to use, or they were not using, or not known to the ecosystem of AMC before joining with us. So what we can do here is, Sandeep ji, let's try to jump on the screen and show our viewers how the inside dashboard looks like inside AMC, what insights are available inside that.
Sure. So now, while I do that, one thing is earlier, as an advertiser, I used to only see the last touch attribution. The way Amazon attribution work is the last touch attribution. So, for example, a customer might have seen my sponsored brand ad, might have clicked on my sponsored display ad. However, the last touch point was a sponsored product where the customer clicked on and done the purchase. And as a result, the ACOS attribution, the sale attribution was given to that sponsored product. Whereas the sponsored brand or sponsored display might have assisted in that conversion. But that is not something that we could look at. So it was in a kind of way, the attribution was, I would say, flawed, not entirely. However, from a overall perspective, that the sponsored brand or a sponsored display might have done some assistance in order to get a conversion from a sponsored product ad. So that is what AMC is going to solve for and help us understand if it is the last was sponsored product, but what other ad types were there which helped in the conversion when sponsored product was the last, or maybe the sponsored brand was the last. So that is something AMC is solving for from an inside perspective, and much more that we can look at. So while I jump onto that, I'd like to show the basic understanding of AMC, which is available on Amazon. I think anybody can check that. So let me share my screen. So as you can see on Amazon ads website itself, they have mentioned about Amazon Marketing Cloud. So just to give you the exact definition of what AMC is, AMC, Amazon Marketing Cloud, is a secure, privacy safe, and cloud-based clean room solution in which advertisers can easily perform analytics and build audiences across pseudonymized signals, including Amazon ad signals as well as their own inputs. So what does it mean? It means analytics, which is insights, and audiences, two things it offers. Second, it is not the exact detail of the shopper, but it is the pseudonymized signals. So they have changed it in a manner where the privacy is still there. So that is there. And it's not just for Amazon ads. It's not just for Amazon ads. It is for the brand's website as well. If they have a first party data that they want to integrate to AMC, where they can then look at it from a holistic view, Amazon plus their own D2C website, they can combine that as well. So that with the basic understanding of Amazon Marketing Cloud, let's jump on to what Amazon Marketing Cloud is and how to access it. To access Amazon Marketing Cloud, you need to be on a campaign manager. Once you are in your campaign manager, you have options on the left called as measurement and reporting. In measurement and reporting, you have Amazon Marketing Cloud. So you open Amazon Marketing Cloud and you see a home page where it says Welcome to Marketing, Amazon Marketing Cloud. So there we have two things. One, we have insights which are available, and the other is the audiences briefly that I might say. So two information is available here. And there are a lot of tabs that you experience. So use case is a very helpful tab that you can always refer to. Then we have a query editor. In query editor, if you understand SQL and if you can write SQL and if you understand the tables that Amazon has, so you could you write those yourself here. But you don't need to be a techie guy in order to use Amazon Marketing Cloud. We have projects if you want to take it next level where you can create a different queries. And then finally, we have audiences, where all the audiences that you are going to create will be visible here. So these are the top that you see here broadly. However, the most important thing here for us is something on insights here. So this section, which is on inside on a home page of Amazon Marketing Cloud, if you click on add insights, you'll see bunch of insight templates that you can run. So there are these options that you can run. For example, if you want to understand the ad part to conversion by campaign groups. So this is a good report that you can leverage, where you can actually understand when did this purchase happen. Was it because of a first was there a streaming TV, then a display ad, then a video ad, or then a audio ad? So all that way you can typically look at. So I think to start with, at a initial stage, it will be helpful if you can use this overlap by campaign groups. This is something that any brand can look at. However, it is important to get insights from AMC. You explore all the ad types. For example, Amazon has given you sponsored product, sponsored brand, sponsored display, and then streaming TV. I'd encourage you to use all the four in order to understand the impact of the ad solutions, all these ad types that Amazon offers, and then use a overlap by campaign groups kind of a report. So you don't need to have any code for it. It's a no code. So you could, easily run it from here.
So this insight basically tells which ad types are overlapping and what is the percentage of overlap. Is it right?
Yeah. So we could, for example, if I click on run here, so it's going to ask me to give the name. Let's say whatever name I've tried are different. You can give the name based on it and what metrics you want to use it. And then group them based on, let's say one could be your ad types. So one group can be my sponsored product campaigns, and I can add my sponsored product campaigns here. Then I can have a sponsored brand campaigns, add them as well. I can have sponsored display campaigns, add them here. I could have a DSP if I'm running, or if I'm running streaming TV, I could have SPV. And then I could have a DSP campaign if I have all these four going on, and add those campaigns here and then submit. It runs based on last 7 days and it refreshes every 7 days on Sunday. So as it says, it will run for it will take the data of last 7 days and will refresh every Sunday. It will give you the information of this way. So you can do this. For example, a similar report if you want to look at ad types. So path to conversion by ad types was one report that we have already run here, where you can see we have different ad solutions. So sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, and then the purchase happens. So when this was the sequence, when a customer clicked on sponsored product ad, then clicked on a sponsored brand ad, or saw sponsored brand ad, or clicked on sponsored display ad, and then purchase happened, how many purchases were such? And then if it was just SPSD, how many purchases were such? When it was SD first and then ST, how many purchases were there? So you can see here, we have great insights from these 5 different ad types. Now, possibly we might think of, maybe not running the sponsored display or sponsored brand. But if we don't run sponsored display, for example, you can see in this, we have a sponsored display playing its role. We have a sponsored display playing its role, sponsored display playing its role, and here also sponsored display playing its role. So it might not be the last ad type where my campaigns, it might show a good cost for this, but I need to give credit to these as well because they're also playing role for me to get the conversion.
So basically, if you can also understand which sequence is giving the highest percentage of purchases, and also with this report, you can also understand that which ad groups are or which ad types are actually working on a product level as well by adding campaign specific to a single product. And basically understanding what is the customer journey happening in this. Also, one good thing about the audience, if you're watching this, we have also created a free course on AMC where you can get access and learn. If you're a beginner, you can learn how to use AMC. If you want that, to just comment down below Regrow Media. We'll make sure we'll share the link with you.
Yeah. So that is the insights. Similarly, one insight that we have run for you is this insight, which is basically time to conversion. So this is the kind of insight which is again helpful. For example, we might want to know how many purchases happen when a customer comes to our product page. So here within 1 minute, we have had significant purchases, less than a minute. Then here with 1 to 10 minutes, we have seen significant. So most of our purchases are under 10 minutes. What could be the reason? Probably you might guess it is the average selling price. It is the average order value. So the price itself could be lower, and hence the customer is able to make the decision sooner. You might have products like furniture or electronics where the pricing is quite high. There you might not see such spikes in under 1 minute or 10 minutes itself. You might see a bigger spike for 1 to 7 days or more than 7 days. So that way you'll be able to understand if you have significant orders coming later is to wait for at least 7 days or more before judging your ads. You might start an ad and within 2-3 days, you might not see conversion. It might have spent a lot. Then, from this insight, we can learn that it is not something that, for our account, majority of our sales comes after 7 days. So all those kind of information you will be able to understand and then use while optimizing operating your campaigns.
Yeah, like for example, in this particular chart that we are seeing, we have a spike in 1 to 7 days. And if let's assume you are a brand and you pause your ads or reduce the budget just because you're not seeing the ROAS in the first or second day of running the ads, it might be because your products might have a longer purchase duration, or the purchase window from the first click to purchase might be longer for you, especially if your average order value might be higher. And it also gives a signal that what can be your look back window for your retargeting ads. Now we are fixed with what we can put as look back window and sponsored displays, but with DSP we have much more room on what we can set in look back window. So I think it also gives us an idea about how strong we can go for our retargeting ads as well.
So, it could be a new launch. We might have launched, new brand, new products. There, we might not have enough reviews. There also, customers might take some time. So, we might not see such spike for initial minutes itself. Possibly, they are taking a day or more because they don't see the reviews and they are not able to decide whether they should go ahead with that brand or not. So, as you'll progress and the brand will mature, the products will mature, the review rating will come in. Again, we might see a shorter duration and spikes here within few minutes, but it all depends on what product, which stage we are at, the pricing that we have. So a lot of factors will decide, but again, it will give us the insights, and based on that, then we can act on our ads. So these are such
Mentioned I think you mentioned a really interesting point here. So since you mentioned that obviously it's more useful for matured brands, so again we need to run a lot of ad types. So what, according to my understanding, uh, what can be the ad budget, or what, or who is the particular seller for whom this can be most useful to?
I think this is applicable to everybody. Anybody who's selling on Amazon and is running ads, it is useful to all of them. It depends on the stage that they are at. The ad spend will be dependent on that. The more you spend, the more data points you'll have, the more clarity you have. However, if I'm a beginner and I'm only running ads, let's say at a 500 daily budget, even then I can leverage AMC. It's just that it will not be able to give me those insights as compared to somebody who's spending, let's say, 1 lakh a day. Somebody spending a lakh a day, for example, or 10,000 a day, 5,000 a day, they might have. So the more data points we are going to feed it, the better results we'll get, because most of these insights run for 7 days duration. Okay. For example, this screen that we are looking at, it based on 7 days. So it's going to refresh after this 7 days. And within the 7 days, the more data points I have, the more insights I'll be able to draw. Lesser data points might give me, not that good insights. However, I encourage anybody at any stage leveraging the AMC.
Yeah. So again, we have a free course on AMC. Just feel free to comment Recruit Media. We'll make sure you have access to. And also there are a couple of reports which a lot of fast-moving consumer good brands might be helpful. That is, it also gives us an insight of new to brand. Not only the new to brand percentage, but it also gives us which exact ad campaigns or ad types are bringing more new to brand customers to us. Now, since Sandeep, you're already in the dashboard, why not we go and look over the type of audiences that are available?
Sure. So there are a bunch of audiences that Amazon has given us. You'll find those audiences in use case. Insights as well as your audiences both are available here. For example, if you want to look at audiences, then you have an audience tab here. You can click on audience, and then we have a no code tab as well, where if you select this as well, then you don't need to write the code to generate that audience. So let's say if I've selected these two, then I see bunch of audiences that I can create, which are which don't require a code. So for example, I have this audience here, audience exposed to sponsored ads campaign. So, I could create an audience who have exposed to my ads that I've run. Sponsored ads could be a sponsored product or a display or a brand or a video, whatever ad. And I could create an audience out of it that who have seen or interacted, clicked on my ad. Or I could, go down and find something as relevant as cart abandoners. So we have an audience that added to cart but did not purchase. So we have this audience as well. This is the kind of audience that typically gives you a good ROI of your from the ads that you are going to run, because these are at a lower funding. They are add to cart is kind of a KPI for consideration, the last point of a consideration before the conversion stage comes in. So it's a lower funnel where the audience is already prepped, it's already warm, and we can show them again our ad and remind them that they added us to the cart but have not made the purchase. So this is the one kind of audience mm, which is there. And then there are many more. For example, another audience that I like is this one, audience with multiple detail page views. So somebody who viewed my product page, let's say 5 times, then they're familiar with my product. So again, I could go for conversion and push them to from consideration to conversion for this ad type, this audience as well. So there are a bunch of audiences. If you run DSP, then you have a lot of DSP audiences as well, where you can merge the two together, DSP with sponsored ads. So these are the type of options that you see in the audiences with no code.
And now, out of all these audiences, which of the audiences have you found to be most helpful to sellers?
I think all of them are helpful. It depends on the objective that we have. For example, if the objective is to get a better ROAS, if that is my objective, sales, orders, if that is my lower funnel KPIs, if I'm looking for, then this is very good audience. Add to cart. So if you click on add to cart, it gives some information here, which you can read more, but might not be that helpful. You can directly scroll below and then submit this form. In this, you select the advertiser. So whatever advertiser you have here, you can select that. Once you have selected the advertiser, then the country by default is India, because we are into India. Then we have two options, audience type. One is rule-based, which is the exact audience. And then the second option is lookalike. Lookalike is based on my audience's information that I'm giving to Amazon. Based on that, Amazon will create audiences pool for me. So typically, lookalike is helpful for new launches. However, if you are an existing mature brand, have been selling for let's say 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, more than that, then rule-based at this stage for cart awareness is much better, because it will be exactly your own audiences. Lookalike will give you other cart abandoners of other brands, which might not be that helpful because they're not familiar with your brand. And then you can give the name, whatever you want to give. You might give it like, for example, APC audience. And if you want to run it for duration, you could add that like last 30 days, and then if you are doing it for specific ASIN, you can mention that. For example, I am doing it for my top ASIN. So my top ASIN, I could give something like this, where auto adjust date. This means that whatever duration I'm telling, for example, last 30 days, it will refresh that audience by itself. If I do auto adjust, if I do no, then the audience will be fixed. Same audiences that I have today will be the audiences always in this pool. But if I do auto adjust, which I recommend you do it, the audiences will refresh. And then the date range, you have option of from 7 days to 365 days. 30 days is a good number. So you can go with 30 days and run this. However, it's up to you to choose other options which are given here. So I'm going with 30 days. Then the time zone, I'm into Asia, Kolkata. So I select that time zone. And if the ASINs you want to run, so if it is my top ASIN, then whatever ASIN I have here, I'll enter that. If I have 2 top ASINs, then it could be like top ASIN, exact ASINs you have to enter. I'm just entering stuff here. And you could do this. If you have more, you can enter more. Or if you don't want to do it for specific ASINs, you want to do it for all, then what you can do is instead of top, you could do all ASINs. So that is what you could run this for. Submit, create this. Once you do it, Amazon will apply this. Will take roughly, depending on the pool of the audience that you have, could be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, based on, the size of the audience and the load on the servers of Amazon. And Amazon will give you those audiences, which you'll be able to see in your campaign manager. Then you can check those audiences there in your campaign manager. One thing, when you do this audience, rule-based, audience will get created only if there are minimum 2,000 audiences. If you have less than 2,000, then it will fail, it will show an error. Because for AMC audiences, the requirement is to have any type of audience that you create must have 2,000 in size for rule-based. And for lookalike, the seed audience must be 500 for it to create more. So you don't need to get into technicality. You can just try. It gets created, fine. If not, then what you could do is have a longer window. Do last 60 days and change the name of your audience as well, so that you can, when you check in your campaign manager, you know what that audience is. So giving name is important. and the duration can be extended if it is not giving. If not 90, then you have 60, it is 90, then 360. Well, you could try, start with 30 days.
Great. So now comes the interesting part. Sandeep ji have collected a lot of data points of audiences that we have been running for the last couple of months that have proven to be good for us. So we are going to share and hopefully you can select 2-3 types of audiences for yourself as well.
Sure. So before I jump to that, let me show you in Campaign Manager where you can access these audiences. When you go into create campaign or existing campaigns, you can check either way. For example, for sponsored product, I'll show you quickly first. So when you come to sponsored product, you do creation or even if you are optimizing existing campaign, I'll show you. So you have audience here and it says here increase with some custom audience created in Amazon Marketing Cloud. You select this, it will show you those audiences that you have created. So you can see there are a bunch of audiences that we have created here. These are all the AMC audiences. It says AMC audiences in the beginning itself we have created. So that is for the existing. Similarly, sponsored brand has it. Let me quickly show for sponsored display as well. In display, the best part is that in brand as well as in products, sponsored product and sponsored brand, you need to do bid boost. Because you cannot target audiences exactly there. You have to use it with the bid boost, which is like audiences or placement bid boost we used to do like Kappa search, same way. But in sponsored display, the advantage is that we have the audiences all by ourselves. We don't need to mix it with anything. You can see here custom audiences. So you can select that and whatever audiences, for example, this audience I want to add. So I can add just this audience and my ad will be shown only to them. I don't need to worry about bid boost and stuff like that. So that is the advantage of sponsored display. For our existing campaign, I'll show you for existing campaigns as well so that you can take a look at it for them as well. So any campaign, if you open, if you want to add audiences to those campaigns, what you need to do is you need to go to bid adjustments. Once you are onto bid adjustments, here on the top, you get options to add the audiences. I'm not sure why it is not showing here. Let me check any other campaign. So how it looks in a existing campaign, if I open any campaign in here, if you come to bid adjustments, so your placement like Kappa search, product pages, all of that we used to get, here you see audiences. So once you come here, then you can, the audience that was created, you can see one of the audience from AMC is showing and we have done a bid boost. So we have done the adjustment for the bid to try that maximum traffic comes to this. If you create audience and don't do the bid boost, what will happen is you might send traffic to the other audience. For example, here you can see all the orders that we have got, 14. Total orders are 14 and all the 14 orders have come from this audience. But if you see clicks, we have 298 total clicks. Only 235 clicks have come from this audience. That means there are some clicks that have come from the audience which are not part of the group. So that way, you can look at in this sponsored ads. So now with the data that we have, you can see that in last couple of months, we have created roughly 433 campaigns in total for AMC, where we have looked at sponsored products, sponsored display, as well as sponsored brands. So we have tried to use all the three archetypes and have created roughly 233 campaigns. Till this data was prepared, we have a lot more campaigns that we have created. But till this time, when we prepared this data about a week ago, we had roughly this number of campaigns. We are constantly testing AMC and creating a lot more campaigns. Now in this, we can look at the performance, at a normal typical ad type level, all the KPIs that we have. And this is just the AMC audiences KPIs. So with this, at an ad type level, we can take some insights. For example, from an order perspective, if you see, SP campaigns have given us in AMCs a lot of orders.
ये थोड़ा स्क्रीन को zoom कीजिए.
So we have prepared this data, which we can see where we have ad types. So you can see we have tested sponsored product, we have sponsored display, and we have a sponsored brand as well. In this, what we have tried to look at is orders. If you see, most of our orders have come from sponsored product. And then we have a significant orders from sponsored display, sponsored brand, not much orders. And there are in sponsored products, some ad types, which have not done of us. So that way we can take some insights that we need to explore display and sponsored brand more. because sponsored product has given us, and within sponsored product also we have some opportunities that we can look at from this data. And then the audiences data that we have. So here you can see the different type of audiences we have run this for. So we have cart abandoners, we have keyword based audiences. So we can also create audience which have searched for specific keywords. We have a glance view or a page view based audiences. So there are audiences who have come to my product page but not made the purchase. Those who have clicked on our ads but not done the purchase. We have a lookalike audience. So there are wish list audience. We have NTB, new to brand, and high spender audience. So there are a lot of different type of audiences that we created and have clubbed them together to check which is working well for us. What kind of ACOS are we getting from it? Now, we might see this is a combination of different brands, different categories. One might have a CPC of just 5 rupees, the other might have a CPC of 50 rupees. So the objective is to not look at what my CPC or ACOS is. The objective is the orders basically, which audience is giving me more orders and which audience is not giving me orders. And the second is where have I not explored much. For example, here my ad spend you can see for these is not much. So these audiences have not been explored much. So maybe we can create more campaigns here and explore for them. So that way we can look at the areas and understand what is working. Cart abandoners, page views, and keyword. These three audience seems to be topping the chart. A lot of orders from them you can see. So if they are giving me good orders, maybe I want to do this in all my accounts, all my products, all my categories that I'm selling. And that way I can, pick more information from the MC and utilize them.
Yeah, so here we can see that there is around 12, 13 different audiences. So let's assume someone who is just starting out with the AMC. What 2 or 3 audience type you would recommend to them that they should try on first?
So it depends on the stage they are at. Let's say they've been selling for a year or so and they have a lot of audiences who have bought their products or added their products to cart. Then cart abandoner is one of the audiences they definitely should explore, which is those audiences who were very close to purchase but did not purchase. So there they'll see significant because they are very down in the funnel, so bottom of the funnel. The second audiences that I would suggest is the page view audiences who have come to my page views certain times. I have the option of choosing 2 page views minimum or 5 page views minimum or 10 page views. So that is another audience I would suggest. And if somebody is very new, they are very unlikely to find these. If you are like say first, second month or you have launched recently, then in that case, you might want to look at lookalike. You might want to look at NTB, these kind of audiences for a new launch. So that's what I would recommend.
Great. So I think that was a great discussion. Now, what we are planning is we are planning our next episode on DSP. Unlike normal episodes, we are planning something deeper, something more data driven, where we go and show exactly how DSP console looks like, how you can create a campaign, what components are inside that, what kind of targetings are available, audiences, all those kind of things. Once again, we have a free course on AMC, which is beginner friendly. If you want access for that, comment below Regro Media and we will make sure you have access to that. So, Sandeepji, anything else you have in mind?
Yeah, that's all. I think I'd encourage everybody to explore AMC and for that, use more ad types so that you can understand how they are impacting the purchase behavior of your customer and make the most out of this solution that Amazon has given us.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. We are planning to post PPC Roundtable videos every week. So make sure to encourage us by commenting. And if you have any questions, make sure you put down below. We'll make sure we answer those. Thank you so much.